You know, I wonder, is the Dark World the place that the Enterprise ends up after they go into darkness? The laser is 'cause I like sci-fi. The dude is 'cause I am a rad guy. 99 is 'cause I like Wayne Gretzky. That's why I'm Lazy Dude 99. Laser time and we're gonna do a review. Yes, we're gonna review. Talk about movies and comics too. Let's all go watch the Hello everybody, I'm LaserDude99 and welcome to my review of Thor 2: The Dark World. This movie starring Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Tom Hiddleston as Loki, Natalie Portman as Jane Foster, Anthony Hopkins as Odin, and Christopher Eccleston as the Dark Elf Malekith. So, let's just go into the basic story so we can get to this review. So, the basic story of Thor 2: The Dark World is how every 10,000 years, 100,000 years, I forget what he said, the realms align with each other, kind of putting them in a state of flux. So, you might accidentally fall from one world to the other. You can find yourself on Earth in 1 second, in Asgard the next second, and in Niflheim the next. And while investigating this energy, Natalie Portman falls through this secret room that holds this thing called the Ether. The Ether is this powerful substance that used to belong to the Dark Elves, that they used to try to cover all the 9 realms in utter darkness. And unbeknownst to Jane Foster, she accidentally unleashes the Ether and it goes inside of her. Thor then finds Jane Foster and takes her to Asgard to try to get the Ether out of her. But by unleashing the Ether onto herself, Jane Foster has accidentally awoken the Dark Elves, who have been sleeping, waiting for the Ether to be released. And so Malekith and his Dark Elf army go to attack Asgard and bring the Ether back to them so they can encompass all the 9 realms in utter darkness. So, let me just say the things when it comes to this Thor movie. I enjoy it more than the first. However, it's harder to say whether it's a better movie than the first. The main reason being is Thor doesn't really have too much of a character arc for himself. In the first movie, he was reckless and he wanted to go to war too easily, and so he had a learning curve that he had to go through. However, in this one, he's kind of learned it, and it would be unrealistic for him to say, "You know what, Father, let's kill them all." You know, that would really feel unrealistic for his character. But on the same hand, you don't really have that much of a character arc for Thor. He's Thor. I said in the first movie I didn't fully buy Natalie Portman and Chris Hemsworth as a couple. Rewatching it, I did kind of buy them as a couple. I just thought that, you know, they could have used a few more scenes. In this movie, I think they definitely could have used a couple more scenes with them. Just like, I know the problem is she's infused with this ether that's killing her. So what? You have this substance in you that's killing you. Your father doesn't want her around, and you know the world there's wars happening. I don't think there's enough time to go for a leisurely walk in the park and have some tea and crumpets. And if they did have tea and crumpets, Thor would be like, "This is good." I don't know why, I just love that joke. So I would have liked a few more scenes with Natalie Portman and Chris Hemsworth as Thor to just, you know, to get them, to buy them more as a couple, right? Because a lot of people have been complaining how it seems like they just look at each other and they look like they just think each other is hot.
But you see, they had only so much time in the movie, and they had to cover all the angles, but they couldn't cover too much. They didn't want it to be a sappy love story. There's the room for that for Thor 3. So, I thought it was great.
Okay. Well, I didn't say it was bad. I was just saying I think they could have developed the love relationship a little bit more. Right now, it kind of seems like, oh, you're hot, and man, she's hot, and they like each other.
I know. There wasn't as much about a good...
Like, I know why they can, because she has this ether in her that's killing her, so, you know, I got it.
I get it.
You get it. What are you doing here?
I gotta go. Bye.
Can you close the door?
This has been another Chris's Moments.
Anyway, despite the fact that Thor and Natalie Portman don't have a whole lot of screen time to enforce the more romantic part, they're still fun to watch in their own ways. Thor is still a whole lot of fun to watch, beating up all these different creatures and monsters that come his way. He still uses Mjolnir with authority and, you know, pounds the living crap out of things. Then, of course, there is Loki. Now, Loki to Thor is like Magneto to the X-Men. No matter what is the villain or the threat, Loki will always be there, just like Magneto will always be involved in the X-Men stuff. Here's the thing. Tom Hiddleston kills it as Loki. I mean, my gosh, this guy just keeps getting better and better with this. I mean, he is absolutely hilarious. There are scenes where he uses like this, you know, his illusion spells that it's just, you know, okay, there's one scene where he's walking down a hallway with Thor, and he keeps on using the illusion spells, not only on himself, but on Thor. And some of the stuff they does is some of the most hilarious moments in the film. I laughed so hard I nearly fell out of my chair at some of them. And that's the thing, this is a very humorous film, like Iron Man humorous, which I wasn't expecting for a Thor movie. Thor's usually more serious. Rarely. And that might have something to do with the part of Darcy being upped a lot in this movie. I mean, she's gone from, like, just comic relief side character to actually involved in the main plot and actually doing stuff. I know some people that were annoyed with this, the fact that they gave so much screen time to her, thinking that, you know, there was no reason for this actress to have this much screen time compared to the other characters, but when it came down to it, I'm just like, I thought she was hilarious. I thought some of the lines that she says and the stuff that happens to her is outright hilarious. I will say though, okay, there is Eric Selvig, who has played the scientist in the first film, and he was in Avengers that got mind controlled. Apparently, because of he been mind controlled, he got a little. Yeah, the first moment we see him, he's running around Stonehenge naked, saying, "They're coming," or something like that. And it's not that he's crazy, it's the fact that he's actually seeing things in clearer detail. That he sees that the things are going to realign, the realms are realigning. And okay, I will say this though, I'm so tired. I am tired of every blah 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 on the planets or the realms or the whatever realign, something big will happen. Okay, you know what? Eventually, our planets, on Earth, our solar system, are going to align, and guess what? Nothing's going to happen. Nothing huge. We might see some stars, or we might see some planets closer than we normally would. I don't know, but nothing humongous is going to happen when our planets align. There is no magical portal going to be open. Our worlds are not going to interdimensional phase with each other. I am just so tired of when the planets align, or when the realms align, or when this align. I don't care about. Okay, I just say that I'm tired of the align subplot just as much as I'm tired of the big blue beam shooting up in the sky. You see those all the time in movies. Use something else. I will say this though, that I kind of felt the ether was not really explained as much. I mean, it was explained that there was this dark energy that the Dark Elves use, and that was about it. That it was powerful, but it was very vague. How powerful is it? Is it like, I'll move this planet and replace it with that planet powerful? Or is it, I can lift a car powerful? It was really vague. It was powerful enough that it seems to tip the scale of the war, and when Odin captured it, then the elves had no chance. So, well, not Odin, Odin's grandfather. So, I will say that here's the thing, the Dark Elves suck. As villains, they kind of suck. Christopher Eccleston, I mean, God love him, he's doing all he can with a nothing role. All that is said about the Dark Elves is they want to encompass the earth in darkness. What does that mean? Do they want everything to be like... I mean, is this it? Is this what they want the world to be like? Just an utter darkness? I mean, won't you bump your head a whole lot? I don't know. Like, do they want it like this? Or is it more just the fact that they want to destroy everything? I don't know. It's very vague. What does encompass the world in darkness mean? Encompass the world in evil, physical darkness, a spiritual darkness, dark spirits? I don't know. And it doesn't really help that most of the villain's dialogue is in another language. I mean, most of it is just in another language. I mean, I think we got like a third of his dialogue in the trailer. And that's not good. I mean, his English dialogue. However, I'm not really fully minded by it because we got Loki. And Loki is always going to be a villain. And so we already got the villain side kind of taken care of with Loki. He's just not the main threat, and he's what's forcing our two characters, Loki and Thor, together to have to work together in order to move things forward. I mean, when you just have Tom Hiddleston's Loki, and you put him right up against Christopher Eccleston's Malekith, you're just like, yeah, more of Loki, please. And you really got to humanize Loki as a character, especially with how his parents feel about him. Because Odin is like, I've given up on you! You! Okay, not to that extreme, but, he's like, I don't care about you anymore. You've disappointed me. You're no longer my son, as far as I'm concerned. Where his mother, well, that is his adopted mother, it actually still wants to believe that he can be good he wants to believe that, but Loki doesn't even believe that. Loki has accepted himself as evil. And I like how you got Thor and Loki, how Thor's like, if you betray me, I will kill you. And you don't think that Thor's just bluffing right there. You have a feeling that Thor's like, look, you have betrayed our trust as brothers more times than I can count now, so that's done. I need your help right now, and you need me, so we need to work together in order for this not for the world to be covered in darkness. But if you stab me in the back, I'm going to kill you. And I think that's such an interesting dynamic for Thor, because, even in Avengers, he was pleading with his brother to give up his crusade and to stop his harm that he's doing to the world. However, let's just take a step back from all the philosophical and all the details and stuff like that. The action is awesome in this. This is what I was missing from Thor. I mean, okay, you have the first battle in the first Thor movie, you have the first battle with the ice giants, and then you had him mostly human throughout the rest of it. There was only one fight scene while he was human, well, okay, two, but one fight scene while he was human where he was just running around beating up S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, and that was okay, but I mean, I want a Thor movie. I want him to do Thor crap. And in this movie, he does Thor crap, okay? And I don't mean crap is bad, I mean, it's awesome. You really like Chris Hemsworth as Thor. He's just charming. And charming to the point where you just really buy him as this character. I couldn't see anybody else playing it anymore, and at least not live action. And I think he fully embodies Thor. And same as Tom Hiddleston as Loki. And I think if you enjoyed the first Thor movie, I think you'll enjoy this one quite a bit. I enjoyed it a lot more, actually. That's mostly because Thor's just doing Thor stuff, and Loki's doing Loki stuff, and it's just fantasy superhero stuff at its finest. I will say this. Did anybody else get the feeling in some of these action scenes that they were watching a sci-fi movie, not a fantasy? I mean, they're on these, turrets going... And I'm just like, wait, okay, they're on turrets? I mean, I thought this was fantasy world, okay? Where's the bows and arrows? Where's the magic stuff, okay? I mean, I know there's a line with, your science and our magic are the same. I don't actually like that line. I want science to be science and magic to be magic. Because in a comic book world, you can have both. Okay? You can have magic and you can have science. That's the way it works. That's why comic book worlds are so unique. Because in a book world, like any other book world, you it's either a science fiction story, or it's a fantasy story, or it's a modern day normal story, or, you know, whatever. With a comic book, you can have, like, especially, let's take the Avengers on their own. Captain America is a character from World War II. You have Iron Man, which is very much kind of a little bit science fiction. Thor, which is fantasy. You know, you have Hawkeye and Black Widow, which are the more human side and the espionage of things. You know, you have all these. That's what makes superheroes so great, is the fact that you have people who are all in these different areas, and you can have a magic character in a science fiction age, or you can have a science fiction character in the fantasy world, and it still makes sense. So I want Thor's magic to be magic, and I want Iron Man's science to be science. I don't want them to be just advanced science that we call magic. I don't like that at all. But in any case, I think that Thor the Dark World is... I can't fully say it's a better movie, because the villain in Thor Dark World is not really good. The motivations of the villain are not really explained. However, it has better action scenes. I like Thor and Loki a lot better. Natalie Portman, I feel about the same. I don't hate her. I just think I wish there was a few more scenes that made them look like they were actually falling in love with each other and not just looked at each other and said, wow, you're so hot. Which my mom can't stop saying about Thor, but anyway. In any case, I think Thor the Dark World is a very fun superhero flick. I wouldn't put it as one of the best superhero movies of the year, but I still think it's definitely entertaining and enjoyable. So I am giving it a 7 out of 10. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'm LazyDude99, and if I don't like it, it's not worth it. I am Thor! Hear me roar! Be sure to check out more of my other videos on my channel. And wait for more coming soon.